In the shadowed heart of the Whispering Savanna, where the moonlight painted the acacia trees silver and the wind carried whispers of forgotten battles, a tiny lion cub's terrified roar shattered the night. "Father!" Simba cried, his golden eyes wide with panic as massive black paws slammed him against the jagged rocks. The Black Panther loomed over him like living darkness itself. Eyes glowing emerald, muscles rippling beneath obsidian fur, a scar across his muzzle twisting into a cruel smile. "The Lion King's precious heir," the panther growled, voice like thunder rolling over dry plains. "Tonight, your blood will water my throne." But fate, that mischievous trickster of the wild, had already set two unlikely saviors on a collision course with destiny. Far across the moonlit grasslands, King Mufasa stood on Pride Rock, his golden mane catching the starlight like a crown of fire. His heart thundered with a father's dread the moment he heard that distant cry. Simba, his brave, curious, laughter-filled son, had wandered too far again, chasing fireflies into the forbidden borderlands where the jungle met the savannah. Mufasa's powerful chest heaved as he turned to the Council of Lionesses, but he already knew no pride alone could face what waited in those shadows. The Black Panther, known only as Nyx, had risen from the deep jungle mists months ago, claiming territory with ruthless cunning. He was no ordinary cat. Legends whispered he drew strength from the very night, his claws sharper than betrayal, his cunning deeper than the ancient watering holes. Nyx wanted the savannah. He wanted the jungle. And now, he wanted Simba as leverage to break the Lion King once and for all. Mufasa's golden eyes narrowed with regal fury, yet beneath the king's strength lay a father's breaking heart. "I will not lose my son," he whispered to the stars. Then he did something no Lion King had done in 100 seasons. He ran not toward his pride, but toward the one creature every lion had been taught to fear, Shere Khan. Meanwhile, in the tangled emerald heart of the jungle, Shere Khan prowled the moonlit ruins of an ancient banyan tree. The great tiger's orange coat, striped with black lightning, gleamed with the scars of countless battles. His amber eyes burned with the old fire of a lone hunter, a king without a throne, feared by all and loved by none. He had spent years nursing a deep, simmering hatred for the lions, those golden tyrants who had driven his kind from the open plains long ago. Yet tonight, even the mighty Shere Khan felt the wind shift. A faint cub's cry reached his ears, carried on the same breeze that carried the scent of lion blood. And something inside the tiger, something buried beneath layers of rage and pride stirred. He remembered his own cubhood. The night hunters had taken his mother. He remembered the loneliness that followed, the cold nights when only his own roar kept the darkness at bay. Shere Khan shook his massive head, growling low. "Foolish cub," he muttered, running toward death with the joy of a butterfly. But his paws were already moving, drawn by a force stronger than hatred. The first challenge came before the alliance was even born. Mufasa found Shere Khan at the jungle's edge, where savanna grass met vine-choked trees. The two titans faced each other under a sky exploding with stars. Mufasa's mane rippled like a banner of war. Shere Khan's tail lashed like a whip of fire. For a long, breathless moment, the air crackled with old grudges. Lions and tigers had clashed for generations. Territory, prey, pride. Memories flashed between them. Fallen warriors, stolen watering holes, cubs taught to hate before they could hunt. "You dare come here, Lion King?" Shere Khan's voice was a velvet rumble edged with steel. "After your kind drove mine into the shadows?" Mufasa lowered his great head, not in submission, but in raw honesty that stunned the tiger. "My son is in Nyx's claws. The Black Panther does not care for old borders. He will drown both our worlds in blood if we fight each other first." Tears, actual tears, glistened in the corners of the Lion King's eyes. "I am not here as a king begging an enemy. I am here as a father. Begging another father who once knew what it meant to lose everything." Shere Khan froze. The words struck deeper than any claw. He saw in Mufasa's trembling shoulders the same fear that had haunted his own dreams for years. The tiger's amber eyes softened, just a fraction, but it was enough. "The cub. He has your fire?" "He has the whole savannah in his laugh," Mufasa whispered. A long silence stretched between them, filled only by the distant roar of a waterfall and the beating of two mighty hearts. Then Shere Khan dipped his head, once slowly. "Then we hunt together tonight. But mark my words, Lion King, if we survive, the old debts remain. Their unlikely pact was sealed with a single shared nod, and so began the most perilous journey either had ever undertaken. The second challenge struck as they crossed the River of Echoes, a raging torrent guarded by Nyx's loyal hyena packs and shadowy leopard scouts. The water roared like 1,000 angry spirits. Mufasa and Shere Khan fought side by side for the first time, golden claws flashing against black-spotted fur, orange stripes blurring in lethal grace. A hyena lunged at Mufasa's throat. Shere Khan barreled into it like living thunder, sending the scavenger flying into the rapids. In return, when a leopard dropped from the trees onto Shere Khan's back, Mufasa's powerful paw slammed it away with a roar that shook the night. As they dragged themselves onto the far bank, panting and bleeding, something shifted between them. Shere Khan, wiping blood from his muzzle, looked at the Lion King with new respect. "You fight not just for your cub," he said quietly, "but for mine as well, even though I have none left." Mufasa placed a heavy paw on the tiger's shoulder. "Every cub in these lands is ours to protect. That is what makes a true king, not the crown, but the heart that beats for the helpless." Shere Khan turned away, but not before Mufasa saw the glistening in those fierce amber eyes. The tiger's voice cracked when he finally spoke. "I once swore no lion would ever touch my soul again. Tonight, I break that vow for a cub I have never met." Deeper into Nyx's territory they pressed, through misty bamboo groves and thorn-choked valleys where the Black Panther's mark, deep claw slashes on every tree, warned all who dared enter. Exhaustion clawed at them, but so did memories. Mufasa spoke of Simba's first steps, how the tiny cub had tumbled into a warthog burrow and emerged laughing, covered in mud. Shere Khan, for the first time in years, shared his own pain. The night his sister's cubs were taken by rival hunters, how he had hunted alone ever since, pushing away every creature who tried to come close. "I became the monster they feared," he admitted, voice rough with unshed tears, "so no one could ever hurt me again." Mufasa listened without judgment, his golden eyes full of quiet understanding. "Fear makes cages, my friend. Love sets us free." By the time they reached the Black Panther's lair, an ancient ruined temple overgrown with strangling vines and lit by eerie green fireflies, the bond between lion and tiger had been forged in fire and truth. They were no longer enemies. They were brothers in purpose. Inside the temple, horror awaited. Simba was chained to a stone altar at the center of a vast chamber, his small body trembling, golden fur matted with dirt and tears. Nyx circled him slowly, tail flicking like a serpent. "The Lion King will come," the Black Panther purred, voice dripping venom. "And when he does, I will make him watch as I end his bloodline. Then the savannah will bow to me." Simba lifted his chin, small voice shaking but defiant. "My father will come, and he won't be alone." Nyx laughed, a sound like cracking ice. "Who would stand with lions? The jungle fears them. The savannah hates them." At that exact moment, two roars shattered the temple, one golden and regal, one orange and thunderous. Mufasa and Shere Khan burst through the vine-covered entrance like living storms. The final battle erupted in a whirlwind of claws, fangs, and raw courage. Nyx was no ordinary foe. He moved like liquid shadow, dodging Mufasa's powerful charges, slashing with claws that drew deep lines of fire across the Lion King's flanks. Shere Khan leaped onto the panther's back, but Nyx rolled, slamming the tiger against a pillar that cracked like thunder. Stone rained down. The three titans clashed in a dance of death, golden against black against orange, while Simba struggled against his chains, crying out encouragement to the only two heroes who had come for him. The turning point came when Nyx pinned Mufasa to the ground, jaws inches from the Lion King's throat. "Your kingdom ends tonight," the panther snarled. But Shere Khan saw Simba, small, terrified, yet still believing. In that instant, every wall the tiger had built around his heart crumbled. With a roar that shook the ancient stones, Shere Khan launched himself not at Nyx's back, but straight toward the altar. His massive body slammed into the chains, snapping them with sheer force of will and muscle. Simba tumbled free into the tiger's protective embrace. "Run, little one." Shere Khan growled, voice thick with emotion. "Run to your father." Nyx whirled, fury blazing. "You dare protect a lion cub? You, the great Shere Khan who hates them all. Shere Khan stood over Simba like a living shield, blood streaming from fresh wounds, yet his amber eyes burned brighter than ever. "I hated what I was told to hate," he said, voice steady. "But this cub, he reminded me what I lost, and what I can still protect." In that moment of distraction, Mufasa rose. Father and unlikely brother struck together. Mufasa's mighty paw cracking across Nyx's jaw, Shere Khan's claws raking the panther's side. Nyx fought like a demon, but he fought alone. The temple echoed with their battle cry until, with one final, coordinated strike, Mufasa and Shere Khan drove the Black Panther backward into the crumbling altar. Stones cascaded. Nyx roared once in defeat, then vanished beneath the falling ruins, his dark reign ending in dust and silence. The three survivors stood amid the settling debris, chests heaving, wounds burning. Simba buried his face in Mufasa's mane, sobbing with relief and joy. "You came, both of you came." Mufasa nuzzled his son, tears streaming down his golden muzzle. "Always, my son. Always." Shere Khan watched them, the fierce tiger suddenly looking smaller, vulnerable. He turned to leave, limping toward the temple entrance, but Simba's small voice stopped him. "Wait." The cub ran forward on shaky legs and pressed his forehead against the tiger's massive paw. "You saved me. You're my hero too." Shere Khan's amber eyes widened. For the first time in his life, the great tiger felt tears, hot, unfamiliar, healing. He lowered his head until his scarred muzzle touched the cub's soft fur. "And you, little one, you saved me right back." Mufasa approached, extending a paw. "The borders are open now, brother. The savannah and the jungle stand together. Stay with us. Be part of the pride that protects all cubs, lion, tiger, panther alike." Shere Khan looked from father to son, from the golden king who had humbled himself to the tiny cub who had cracked open his heart. Slowly, the tiger nodded. "For the cubs," he said, voice thick. "For the future." As dawn painted the sky in hues of rose and gold, the three walked out of the ruined temple together, king, tiger, and cub, toward a new horizon where old hatreds lay buried beneath the promise of unity. And so, in the Whispering Savanna, a legend was born, not of war between species, but of courage that crossed every divide. Simba learned that true strength is not the size of your roar, but the size of your heart. Mufasa discovered that even the mightiest king needs brothers willing to bleed beside him. And Shere Khan, the once lonely terror of the jungle, found that redemption begins the moment you choose to protect what you were taught to destroy. The world would never be the same. If this epic tale of courage, redemption, and unlikely friendship touched your heart and reminded you that heroes come in every stripe and color, then hit that like button right now and let the algorithm know this story deserves to reach every dreamer out there. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join our pride as we bring more AI short films that heal, inspire, and remind us all why we fight for the ones we love. Because in a world that sometimes feels divided, stories like this prove that when we stand together, no darkness can win. The savannah awaits your next adventure. See you in the next film, family.